Well, hello everyone. This is Emmanuel Bernstein here in Houston, Texas. I'm one of the Diamond ambassadors here with our company, iBoomerang. It gives me great pleasure to be on the line with you all. Whether you're calling in from whatever parts of the world you're calling in from, it could be morning, it could be afternoon, or it could be evening. I want to welcome each and every one of you all. I know that you all have had someone actually invite you onto the line because they're excited and you're excited about this expansion that we have called iBoomerang, and you want to know really what our company is really all about and how you can get a piece of the pie. Our company's fastly growing all over the world. This was put together by my business partner and mentor, Mr. Houghton Bucks himself, who's the CEO and the board of directors or the founding member of of this company. And this gentleman here that I'm mentioning, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never heard of him, I encourage you to look him up online, and you'll see that from a business standpoint, from a direct sales standpoint, or a networking standpoint, he's held the position as the number one income earner for many, many years in a row from one single position in the direct sales industry. Well, the great news today is that he is the CEO, chairman of the board of this company, and he has the ultimate vision. And that's why I always tell people I follow vision and I follow leadership. Though I've been involved in this industry for now 24 years, I've been full time in this industry for 22 years. I still submit and become humbled to leadership. Previous to this company, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'll give you a quick, background on myself. I come from the traditional business world today of an employee. I worked a job, had three promotions in 4 years in the corporate America sector. I was in the medical field and I was trying to go to medical school. So I was working and trying to go there on a part-time basis. And I just realized that all the countless hours that I was putting in for that corporation compared to the dollar amount that I was getting from my salary and waiting on bonuses, it just didn't pan out. Okay. I was working eight to faint. And I said, if I keep on doing this, then I probably will never get to my goals and dreams. And that was to become successful and happy. Well, I'm glad I did get involved in this industry and connected with leadership in the industry that kind of showed me, number one, how to think. I believe that if you can change the way you think, you can certainly change the way you make money. Well, I learned the philosophies and the principles on how to think, and I learned the skill sets on what it takes, to become an entrepreneur. And wind up meeting this gentleman, Houghton Bucks, and several other leaders in our company. And we connected on a project just recently, about 12 years ago, about 10, 12 years ago. And we took that company from $0 to over $3 billion. We took it from zero distributors to well over 3 million distributors in 40 plus countries. So we know how to build infrastructures. We know how to create the environment. And that's what Mr. Buck specializes in, is nothing more than putting an environment together that allows the average individual to be able to win big in business. And folks, I believe that this company here, iBoomerang, is that one company that will change the landscape of many people's lives all over the world. In fact, in our first 9 months, we've only been open for 9 months officially since December the 11th. 6 of those 9 months we were in pre-launch. And here's what we've already done. Over 168 countries we've already opened. We've already acquired over 310,000 plus customers for free. We've already enrolled over 40,000 brand ambassadors that we call TSAs all over the world. This company has already produced what I'm about to share with you. We've already produced this webinar and this presentation in multiple different languages. The company's already done well over $25+ million in revenue, and we've paid well over 10 million of that back to the field, to the distributors and to the TSAs in our corporation. That's why people are looking at us and saying, you know what, you all are the number one momentum-based company in the direct sales industry and one of the top in the entire business world today. This is why everybody's looking at us. So you're in the right place at the right time. You're about to hear about the right information. The only thing you have to do is make sure you make the right decision. And that's to pick up the phone after this webinar is over with and get back with the person that invited you onto the webinar and get yourself positioned for prosperity. Now, I'm going to talk about some money. So let me kind of dive right into this and share some slides with you. And I just want you to know I do have to put a disclaimer up here on the screen. That disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, is just going to share with you, yes, we are going to talk about lots and lots of money, but that does not necessarily mean you're privy to it unless you actually put in what I call as the sweat equity. It's kind of like making a deposit. If you make a deposit into the bank, you can expect a withdrawal. So the more you put in, the more you'll get out of this opportunity. And we have a system, we have strategies, we have techniques, and we have leaderships that can actually help you understand how to develop whatever size of a business that you want to develop here in iBoomerang. So in getting started here, I want you to understand in the networking industry, we've noticed that that industry kind of is stagnated. But yet and still, there's been other companies that have joined the business world today that have become international conglomerates. Facebook, Airbnb, Uber, Amazon. All of these companies are multi-billion-dollar companies. One of them almost is $1 trillion company, and they just recently popped up on the scene. What is the difference? What's the disparity there? Well, we understand, ladies and gentlemen, the same thing that those companies understand. You have to treat the customer like royalty. So Mr. Bugs has developed a plan here, a system, a strategy, a technique where we're going to be able to give the customer the wow factor and create what we call as a first-class consumer experience. He also trademarked the name PRIB, which stands for Perpetual Residual Income Builder. What is that? Well, I want you to remember that term, because just like the word Siri is synonymous with Apple or Alexa is synonymous with Google, you're going to see the word PRIB synonymous with iBoomerang. And that's nothing more than an ecosystem of verticals that we're putting together, just like Apple's done. And every single year, you'll see new verticals that we'll come out with that our existing customer base will be able to utilize at a savings. Stay tuned for that. Now, let's talk about the old model of direct sales. Well, in the old model of direct sales, we always notice that the customer actually winds up paying more, and they only stay on an auto ship type service for that product or that service for about 79 days. The reason being is because guess what? They can find the same things today that we actually have marked up. They can find it far less of a price on Amazon or eBay or at their local store like GNC. So therefore, you wind up losing that customer. So who really thrives in that environment is the person that becomes the top recruiter or a strong recruiter. What happens if you're like me, an introvert? What happens if you're like that new person who's 18 years old who does not really have a huge source of a database or maybe even credibility? What happens if you have that single parent that has little or no money? What happens to those individuals? They get pushed by the wayside and don't have a legitimate opportunity in the industry of direct sales. Well, here's the great news. We've changed that. See, our new motto is whether you're like me, whether you're an introvert, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you're a single parent, whether you're married, doesn't matter. No one in our company will get paid unless we can help the customer save. This is the new model. This is the new model that we hope companies in the direct sales industry will begin to adopt. And that's when you're going to see the industry start to thrive. Well, how are we going to bring this to fruition? How are we going to bring it to reality? Well, the way we're going to do that, folks, is we have our very first vertical I'm going to tell you about here tonight. It's called travel. This is an $8 trillion industry, soon to be a $12 trillion industry. Matter of fact, I get tongue-tied when I say the word trillion. There's so many zeros in it, it just blows me away and I get tongue-tied, right? So here it is. When you look how big this industry is worldwide, just looking at a few continents, Asia's doing $6.6 billion a day. Europe's doing over $200 million an hour. The United States is doing $1.9 million a minute. Latin America is doing $11,000 a second. I don't care if it's minutes, seconds, milliseconds, hours, or days. Can you imagine if you got just a piece of that $8 trillion that's flowing somewhere every single day, every single moment, every single minute? Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have in our portfolio. That's what we have in the palm of our hands right now. See, here's one thing that I know that most people did not know, and I know I didn't, even though I've been traveling all my life. I had no idea that there's only two companies that monopolize the entire travel industry. One's called Booking Holdings and the other one's called Expedia Group. And between the two of these companies, they own majority of the aggregate discount sites that are out there. In fact, they work together to amass these fortunes that they're making. They've actually have made well over $190 billion in 2018. Why? Because they play a little game on us called price parity and markup. See, when we go look at these sites and we think that we're comparing companies against each other, in most cases, we're really comparing the same companies. You might be comparing hotels.com against booking.com. You might be comparing Kayak against Orbit. You might be comparing Priceline against, Agoda. It's the same company. So when we start looking for these different prices, we might find a $5 difference and take it like that, not knowing, guess what? It's already been marked up and they have positioned the prices all the same to make us think we're winning when we're really losing. See, we don't play that game of marketing. Matter of fact, what we do is we've actually purchased our own travel agency called Extreme Travel. And guess what? They pass the savings off to you, the member, and your customers, because they don't play that game. Well, who's Extreme Travel? Well, let's talk about Extreme Travel. This is our award-winning agency, travel agency. In fact, they've got so many awards, so many accolades, too many of them to even list here on this webinar, on this page right here. Ladies and gentlemen, so when you look at this, you talk about the FunJet actually has the 500 Club. Yeah, so Carnival Cruise Line actually has, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Carnival Cruise Line has given them the Pinnacle Club Award. Royal Caribbean has given them the Royal Family Award. Norwegian Cruise Line has given them the President Club Award. Delta Vacation, many years in a row, has given them what they call is the Diamond Club Award. And the list goes on and on. I can tell you that just recently, maybe a few weeks ago, our director of travel, Lori Spears, had to go over into Mexico and actually receive numerous awards for several different locations that acknowledge Extreme Travel as the best travel agency of 2019. Then she had to leave there and go over into, I believe it was down in Florida, and Carnival Cruise Line gave Extreme Travel again the #1 accolade for the entire year. So this is bragging rights, because this is our travel agency that we actually have our members utilize as well as our customers utilize all over the world. And they're based out of Dallas, Texas, owned by a gentleman by the name of David Manning. Now, let's talk about our award-winning site. Okay, if you got an award-winning travel agency, you must have an award-winning travel site. If you are a member or if you are a customer of ours, what we do is we give you your very own travel booking site. Okay, if you're a member, you get it at wholesale. Okay, and what happens is when you travel and you start to make your bookings, you're going to be getting up to 70% off of the retail prices that's available on the portal. Now, you also can earn travel bonuses just for referring travel over to Extreme. You can also take some of our member-only trips, which are highly discounted and very exclusive. We actually took one in 2019 back in May. It was incredible. There's only 500 to 1,000 people that can attend these member-only trips, so you have to recognize members have its privileges. We also give you $8 trillion worth of inventory. Now, what does all this really mean? Well, let's have a look. I'm going to compare our iGo site. And by the way, iGo stands for I Go For Less. Where would you go if money was no issue? Dubai, China, Singapore, Thailand, Costa Rica. Where would you go? Well, that's what our award-winning site stands for, is I Go For Less. Anytime you use it, you're traveling for less. See, there's only 3 ways you can book travel. You can book it retail, you can book it discount, or you can book it through what we call is behind the curtain pricing. Now, that's pretty much just wholesale, right? And most people don't have an access to behind the curtain price, don't even know it exists. Why? Because they're not a part of that membership pool like you would be with our company, iBoomerang. Let me give you an example of how we compared this. We compared it to discounts. So there's a big difference between discount and wholesale. Look here, you see New York City, a 4.5-star hotel on Expedia. We all are familiar with Expedia, right? $339, right? But if you would have booked that same segment on our I Go For Less website, you would have got it for $178. We're talking about the same room, same time frame, same hotel, just a big difference in price. See, in this scenario, you would have saved over $161. Boom, right? Let's look at the next one here. You see Paris, France. We compare Travelocity to our iGo wholesale site. We found a 4-star hotel. It was $440 a night. On our iGo site, it was $130 a night. Same hotel, same room, same time frame. Again, just a big difference in price. You would have saved well over $310. Now, if I pause for a second, what could you do with the extra savings that you're getting per night? Could you stay a few extra nights? Could you go and shop? Could you get some fine cuisine? Could you take in a show? You can do whatever it is you want to do. Why? Because now, guess what? It's your money that you saved. Okay? Savings is the new earnings, is what we say in our company. And here it is. We're the first company that you can now utilize Bitcoin for your transactions. Now, we also have rent-a-cars on our site. So here we found over in New York City, rentacars.com, an entire week had it for $392. When we compared it against our iGo wholesale site, we found it for $221, which again would have been $171 worth of savings. We also have a portion on our site where you can actually book weeks at a time, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days. Now, you don't have to stay the whole time frame if you don't want to, but again, it has some major perks. Look at this. We found over in Los Cabos a segment there, and it was $834. On our iGo site, we found it for $552. Big difference in price. See, you would have saved over $282 for that entire vacation. Again, same resort, same time frame, even same room, just a big difference in pricing. Now, when you look here, ladies and gentlemen, once I move over to the next slide here, you will see that we actually give you 3 things if you are a member of our company. Every time you do a trip, every time you make a segment, every time you make a booking, we'll give you 3 different things to pay attention to. Number 1, we're going to give you what your reservation is, okay, how much it costs, okay. Number 2, we're going to actually give you what we call a reward credits. Now, what are reward credits? Well, these are points, okay, and these points, you can accumulate as many as you want and start to use them whenever you want, and that could be for future bookings on whatever it is you want to book for, right? And then the third thing we're going to do is, most importantly, we're going to show you how much you're saving on this trip. Here's a couple of examples. These examples are coming in by the hundreds and hundreds and thousands a day now. In fact, we had about 50, I think it was 51,000 activations just last month alone of our sites. Now, some of those were members and some of those were customers. But again, so here it is. We had a lot of people activate one of these wholesale sites. So when you look here on the left, you'll see reservations here, $397, reward credits, 445 points. The savings was over $848 that they kept in their pocket. You see the second one says $287 is what they paid for the reservation. They got 321 points, and they put $532 back in their pocket. The third one shows you that the reservation was almost $1,000, $945 here in Houston, Texas. Reward credits was over 1,000 points, and the savings was $999 that went right back in their pocket. Matter of fact, the person that made this booking probably went and spent that because this hotel was right there in the Galleria Mall connected to it. So again, you can do whatever it is you want with that type of money that you actually save. Let's look at the last one here on the right. You see, we didn't black out the name because this is the CEO of the company. Matter of fact, he wanted to vet this company out before he actually made the decision to purchase it, because he wanted to make sure that our customers weren't booking rooms that were down in the boiler rooms, that they had windows and they had balconies, and it was regular, normal rooms. And he was pleasantly surprised because when he made this reservation in Los Cabos, he likes to stay at high-end locations. Well, he paid $1,348 for this reservation. He actually got 1,600 points in credits. And then he actually put $1,589 back in his pocket because that's what he actually saved on this reservation. And he got a bonus. He had a concierge actually give him a call and say, Mr. Bugs, how do you like your beds turned down? What kind of linens do you like? What kind of drinks do you want in your bar? Yada, yada, yada. But that's the kind of service that he got for using the iGo platform, okay? So this is why everyone wants to have this type of site. The only problem is, guess what? They don't know it exists. Here's the core benefits. We help you save on hotels. We help you save on rental cars. We help you save on cruises. We threw flights in there, but you don't save much on flights, if any, because the airlines keep all the margins for themselves. We help you save on multi-million-dollar homes that come with personal concierge. If you want to book some of these nice homes, 4, 5, 10, 15 different rooms, you can do so, okay? We have weeks at a time. We've got marketplace if you want to bid on some of those resorts. And then we even have, if you're a timeshare owner and you want to let us help you move your week, we can certainly do that and pay you the commissions or whatever it is from you moving that week. Now, there are some additional lifestyle services that you want to pay close attention to as well. You get shore excursions, wholesale shore excursions, theme parks, outdoor activities, playing golf in remote locations, wine clubs, gift cards, restaurant savings. Gift cards would be a great gift that you can give away to people now for the holidays, right? Reward savings, you can give them a rewards card or restaurant savings card for the holidays. All these extra perks are just no additional cost to you on this particular platform. But here's the great news. When you make a reservation using our iGo platform, if you happen to find a reservation online less than hours, we'll still give you 110% of the difference. What does that mean? That means you got nothing to lose, ladies and gentlemen, by having this site and activating it right away. Now, the question is, oh, I'm sorry, here, we got another slide here. Amazing foundation that we've actually started here called the Boom Foundation. Our goal is to actually serve and help all the impoverished kids around the world by providing them with more nutritional meals. Some of them don't eat, some of them don't have access to food. So we want to make sure we do our part. Here's the great news. Anytime you use our platform, whether it's our iGo platform, whether it's our Vibe Ride platform, I'll talk about a little bit in a moment. Anytime someone activates one of our sites, you are feeding a homeless kid around the world. Matter of fact, to this date, we're only 9 months old, we've already fed and already given away 3 million proper nutritional meals to kids around the world. Our goal is 5 million, and we're well on our way to breaking that goal, okay? As a matter of fact, just on last month alone, like I said earlier, we had 51,000 new activations of these free sites. What does that mean? Well, every time someone activates the site, we feed a child. That means 51 more servings are now available to feed children around the world. And we've partnered with Children International and also Manna Relief to make this one of the largest, if not the largest foundation across the globe. Let's talk about leadership, because I believe everything rises and falls on leadership. None of this would be happening, ladies and gentlemen, if we did not have this core group of leaders involved in this company. Starting from the top down, you've got Houghton Buggs, you've got the CEO there to my left. You also have Terrence Gray, our VP of everything. You also have next to him our VP of marketing, Mark Kitcart. You also have the CEO of Extreme Travel on the far right. That's David Manning. You also have our CVO there at the bottom left, Mr. Peter Hirsch. You see our GMA, our Global Master Ambassador, right there in the bottom middle, Mr. Edwin Haynes. And you see our Director of Travel on the bottom right there, Lori Spears. Ladies and gentlemen, these folks here have made this company what it is right now today. And here's the good thing. All of them have come from a distributor standpoint. Nothing wrong with those folks that have those MBAs and things of that nature, but it's just something different when you have some people that are leading from the front that have built organizations and have made millions of dollars, in the industry, because now, guess what? They can show you the way to do it. Now, also, let's talk about this question. Do you boomerang? Do you boomerang? Hopefully you can say, yes, I boomerang. Let me explain to you what the concept is of a boomerang. Anytime you've ever played with one, you notice you throw it out and it comes right back to you. Well, Mr. Buggs had this vision, he noticed that, he had made and amassed a lot of money, him and his wife, Earlene Buggs. They've done very well in this industry. And they say, you know what? They noticed when they started to become principle-based, they noticed that one of the principles that they abide by is the more they give, the more they receive. Okay, the more they give. That doesn't mean money all the time. They give time. They give expertise, they give mentorship, they give coaching, they give money, they give all those things. And they noticed that whatever they gave away, it would come right back to them. So he came up with this concept. He says, you know what? Let's go and create the name Boomerang. And let's put an I in front of it, which means that I boomerang. So really, every time you say the word I boomerang, you are affirming who we are. You are affirming the philosophy of this company. See, what we're doing is we're giving away good deeds and it comes back to us. We're giving away goodwill and it comes back to us. We're giving away good blessings and it comes back to us. We're giving away good savings. And guess what? It comes back to us. So here it is. That's why we asked you the term or the question, do you boomerang? If you say yes, then here's what I want to share with you here. What does this mean? All we're doing, folks, is number one, is we're giving away free sites to our friends, family members, coworkers, neighbors, people in our community. They are booking travel and saving now on their travel. When they do so, we get paid for that. So you share 50% of the savings with all your friends, all your family members, all of your customers. And guess what? There's another 50% of the savings that comes right back to you and through the compensation plan. Now, this is the first time this has ever been done in the direct sales industry. And guess what? This is totally exclusive to our company. So we actually receive savings back in the form of cash. Why is that important? Well, cash is king. That's the only way you can whip a bill in America is you need some sort of cash flow. And there's no limit to the type of cash flow that you can actually earn in our company. Remember, I said we've got multiple verticals that we've already come out with. We just came out with, on December 6th, another vertical called Vibe Rides. What is that? Well, that's our rideshare company. We've been manifesting this thing. We've been saying, what if you actually could have been a part of Uber 5 years ago and 10 years ago and got in front of that momentum-based company? Where would you be at right now today? Well, we don't have to say that anymore now. We can say, what if you got started with iBoomerang? 5 years from now, where are you going to be at? Because you position yourself in front of it. So at any rate, this Vibe Rise, folks, we launched it in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Orlando, the 4 major cities of Florida, and it was a major success. This is the second vertical that we've come out with. Now you're going to have drivers that are driving their cars, and they're going to be driving cars for Vibe Rides. If they can still drive Uber, they can still drive Lyft, but we are paying up to 70 to 75% on every trip that they're taking. Matter of fact, those drivers, if they want to, they can set up another fleet of drivers and get paid a percentage off of those drivers' drives. They can even actually have their own riders, okay, and even get paid whether the riders are in their cars or other cars around Florida. They can even get paid on those rides as well when their customers are in other cars. So it's just something that we're doing different. And I can tell you what, you can have some of those drivers that are part of your organization as well, and you get paid on those same trips that they get paid on as well. So let me give you an example here, just on the travel segment of what this could look like. Well, we are considered to be travel savings ambassadors, okay? Our drivers will be called Vibe drivers, okay? But let me just give you an example here. We show you on the left a TSA member site. What's a TSA? Well, we are travel savings ambassadors. On the right, we show you a customer site, okay? So we said, okay, let's give you an example of the difference, which you'll see. As a member, if you see this trip over here in Cancun, 7-day vacation costs $1,000 in public price, but we got it for $621 at a 41% savings. That means that's $424 that you would have put right back in your pocket as a member of our company. Well, if you would have gave me one of these free Boomerang customer sites, I could have booked the same trip, but I would have saw 50% of what you saw, which would have been $212 worth of savings. Therefore, I would have paid $834 for the same booking. Now, remember, if I save $212, there's another $212 that is the 50% that goes back to you in the form of a travel savings bonus. So what if you helped me save that? That means you just made $106 in a travel savings bonus for helping me save $212. And I'm just one person. Think about that. Now, we also take another 35% and we spread it out through our compensation plan so that leadership can get paid. And then we also take an additional 15% as a profit to the company. Remember, some of that profit goes back to actually feeding a homeless or impoverished child around the world. So that is more than 85% payout to the field off of one transaction. So let's say you really wanted to go at this thing on a part-time basis. Many people have jobs, many people have businesses, but let's just say you just want to supplement your income. What could you do if you just gave out 10 of these boomerang sites? Remember, they're free. That means it doesn't cost them anything to activate it. That means it doesn't cost them anything to use it. That means it doesn't cost them anything to keep it. It's totally free to the customer. So what if you just went at this thing on a moderate basis and gave 10 sites away? Those 10 people took at least one trip in a year and they saved themselves at least $600 each. Well, that's a total savings of $6,000 for those 10 customers. Well, what do you get? Well, remember, you get 50% of that in a travel savings bonus. So that means you're going to get about $3,000 for helping those people save. Now, what could you do with an extra $3,000? What if they travel right now before the end of the year? That's $3,000. What if they travel next year? That's $3,000. It's whenever they travel, it's still, guess what? Commissions that are going to you because you gave away the free site. My question to you is this: how many of these free sites could you give away? 10, 50, 100, 300, 500, 1,000? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a person in our company already that has given away well over 1,500 of these sites that are already activated, and people are starting to use them right now. So here it is. You're going to look up and see within the next 3 to 5 years, people that will become multimillionaires that will be getting paid $1 million a year just from giving away free sites. So we give away free travel sites for iGo, and now we have the availability to give away free Vibe sites for our drivers and eventually our riders. So how big of a company is this going to be? We can foresee that we've already done in our first 9 months 310,000 customers. But now, since we brought the Vibe Ride Share company aboard, we've purchased that company and we've rolled that out now in Florida, and we're about to roll it out in Texas. We now can see that we'll eventually get to 1 million customers by March 2020. That's our company goal, is 1 million customers March 2020. And now with that service we have, we can see that definitely happening and coming to fruition. Now, we also have a team building model. I'll talk a little bit about that here as well. If you've ever been involved in direct sales before, one of the great things that you can do is build a team. Matter of fact, we show people, if you just start with a small team, okay, you're just getting started, you need to make some money. Well, some people that you introduce this to are going to want to become TSAs just like you. So what if you introduce this to 10 people? Let's say out of those 10 people, let's say 5 of them want to join the business as a TSA. Let's say the other 5 just want to be your customers. Well, that's fine. Well, what happens is when those 5 people now join the company, we're going to teach them how to get 10 of their own customers. And those 5 people now will go and probably do the same thing, get another 5 and another 5 customers. So eventually those numbers will start to compound. So eventually you'll get to the point where you'll probably have about 50 people. There's no time frame. Some people have done it right away. Some people are still working on it. But again, 50 people at 10 customers each is 500 customers that are in your network. Now, remember, your distributors or TSAs are going to get the 50% commissions because they have given out the sites. So just remember, every traveler is going to probably spend about, one travel trip in a year and save about $600 on each of those trips, which means that you're going to generate some volume off of those customers, even though they weren't directly your customers. So in this scenario, you're generating about $575 a day from those customers. Well, what if we gave you an override, an indirect bonus for those customers, even though they weren't yours? That means you can be earning at least at 10%, $58 a day, $1,700 a month, or $20,000 extra in a year. Now, what could you do with an extra $20,000 a year on top of what you've already earned from your customer acquisition bonus? And we're talking about just on a part-time basis. Could you pay off some bills? Could you pay off some credit card? Could you Could you actually pay off some car notes? We got several people in our company already within our first 9 months that have paid all these things off. You come back here a year from now, 2 years from now, you'll have people probably have paid off mortgages. What if that team continues to grow and grows to 250? That now you can have 2,500 customers. What if it grows to become 1,000? Now you've got over 10,000 customers. So there's no limit to the amount of people that you can have that's a part of your team as a TSA. And there's no limit to the amount of people that you can have a part of your network as a customer. But just remember, every time there's a transaction, you're getting paid off of it. Let me kind of share with you 2 ways of how we pay you up front. It's called a direct sales bonus. See, anytime someone that you refer to the company decides to join, they have to purchase what we call a promotional product pack, okay, an optional product pack, either the Coach, Business, or First. Well, what we do is we pay you 2 ways off of that purchase. Number one, we'll pay you a fast start bonus, $20 at Coach, $40 at Business Class, or $80 at the First Class on each and every person that you refer to the company. And this is a weekly bonus that will pay you at the end of the week. There's no limit to the amount of people you can refer to the company, but guess what? Every time you get paid on one, right? Then we have what we call a dual team bonus, which means that there's only 2 teams. That's the word dual, stands for 2, team stands for together everybody achieves more. Well, these 2 teams work synergistically together. They grow exponentially through geometric progression every single week. And they drive down to infinity because there's only 2 teams that you can actually build. So it's important that you know that wherever or whoever it is that invited you here is giving you a preferred spot in those 2 teams. And probably it's at the very top, which is why you want to make sure that you could secure that spot of equity ASAP, because if you miss it, it just goes to the very next person that they share this opportunity with. So here it is. We pay you 10%, 12%, or 15% off the growth of that organization. And we usually measure it so that we have a larger team production and a smaller team production each and every week. We pay you off of that smaller team production every single week. And the most we'll pay out is $250,000 per week, all the way up to $1 million a month. And this is just only the second way of how we pay you. There's more to our compensation plan we're not going to share tonight on this webinar. But let's talk about this. How do you get yourself started? Well, we have what we call a standby package. This is where everybody gets started at, because this gets you in the game. It's only $49.95. We give you a customer site, 5 free boomerang sites you can give away for free, 25% referral commissions if you refer, group travel to Extreme. And we also have an interactive I Decide presentation that you can utilize to share this information with other people that you know instead of you trying to do it by yourself. And we have an online management system that tracks your customers, it tracks your TSAs, it tracks your drivers, it tracks your commissions, it tracks everything. You can see it real time on a daily basis. Now, once you get yourself a standby package, you also want to choose one of the optional promotional packs, Coach, Business, or First, because this is where you start to make money. The Coach pack here, ladies and gentlemen, we give you an iGo site for membership, and you will be able to book hotels, flights, rent-a-cars. We also give you 5 additional sites called boomerangs that you can give away for free to 5 more people. So you get a total of 10. Now, when they book on those sites, because you came in at Coach, you won't earn 100% off of everything. You're only going to earn 50% of the 50%. So remember that example I showed you, you had $212 worth of savings and you got back $106. Well, you wouldn't get the $106 because that's 100% of the savings, of 100% of the commissions. You'll get 50% of that. So you'll get about $53 in that example when you could have got 106. So here it is. We just share that with you. As you're getting started, you may start here, but don't stay there because you could be losing half of the money. Now, we also have in that scenario, the dual team bonus. You get 10% off the growth of the smallest team every single week. And remember those member-only trips or luxury experiences that we go on? You'll know about the next one when the general public of our company knows about it, okay? And usually by then, it's probably already sold out because we only take 500 to 1,000 of the people that sign up first. And we got like 40,000 plus TSAs right now worldwide. So they're chomping at the bits when we come out with the next promotion for the next trip. Now you get all this for $250 in addition to the $49. So let's say it's a total of $300 to get yourself started in that coach so that you can start making yourself some money. Now our next pack up is called the business class pack. Now you get everything in the coach class, plus you get cruises when you have your own booking engine, okay? iGo. Now we also will give you 15 additional boomerangs that you can give away free to your clients and customers. And now we'll give you 100%, but that 100% is only going to come off of hotels, rental cars, and cruises, not everything else. We're also going to give you an increase to 12% now in a weekly bonus. And we're also going to allow you to know about the next luxury experience a week in advance before the entire company knows. And you get all of this for an additional $500 in addition to the standby package. The last package I want to share with you is the next class up. It's called First Class. Now here you get everything in the business class, plus you will get homes, you'll get weeks, you'll get timeshares, you'll get lifestyle, you get marketplace that you can now start to utilize and book on. And we give you 25 more boomerangs that you can give away free to your customers and clients. And you will make 100% of all of the commissions available on whatever your customers book on. Now, we also will increase your commissions on a weekly basis to 15% off the growth of the team. And then we'll also give you a 2-week pre-sale notice on our next luxury experience. 1 week, you'll know about it before business, 2 weeks before everybody else in the company. So now you can kind of get the run of the house and pick the best rooms that you want. You got 2 weeks to do it. And that's what you get as first class. Now, first class, folks, is only a one-time investment of $1,000 plus the standby package fee. So pick wherever it is that you feel best getting started, but most importantly, make sure you do get started and don't miss the opportunity or the spot that you're being offered right now today. Last thing I'll share with you here is this. There is a $99 membership fee in most of the countries. Some countries, it's a smaller fee depending on what country you're in. But here in the United States, I'll give you an example. It's a $99 monthly membership outlay, meaning that that's your only expense that you have to maintain your site and to run your business. You have a virtual Uber, a virtual Amazon type company that you now have at your fingertips on the internet. And you only have to pay $99 for upkeep. Now, what does that $99 consist of? Well, number one, we also allow you to use unlimited amounts of the interactive presentations called the I Decides. Number two, we let that Prib work for you, meaning that now when we come out with other verticals, which we will very, very soon here, there's already some things on the table right now that Mr. Bugs is thinking about bringing to the announcement at our next event in February 2020 here in Houston, Texas. But you will never, ever have to call your customers and resell them on any of the verticals that we bring out. See, we have a marketing team that will pay to do that for you. So you have your own marketing team that works for you to help you grow your customer base. Your job is just to build the customer and bring the customer. Their job is to grow that customer for you. And then also that same $99 fee, a portion of it is taken out for you to have access to having the autoresponders that the company will send out to your brand new business partners when they get started in the company. So we have a program called Leave No One Behind. That means they know exactly what to do next. And there's an email that they get every day for the first 10 days on how to get their business up and running so that they can become profitable within a matter of days to weeks. Okay, within a matter of days to weeks. Nobody's ever done that before, but we have that here. And the Prib is what helps the marketing team and the telemarketing team actually be able to help do that within the company to help you grow your business. So again, it's all about now you getting started. So I would encourage you to get back with the person that invited you here on this webinar and turn your dreams into reality. We got a big event coming up here in February 22nd, 23rd here in Houston, Texas. We got people coming from all around the world because that would be our very first kickoff event for 2020. It's going to be exciting, a lot of great announcements, and you'll get a chance to meet all the leadership within iBoomerang. So we wish you nothing but success. Welcome to the family. And we will see you at the top, everybody. Good night and God bless.